Hello friends, I am Poonam Badgujar, chemistry faculty in VMC. Today we have this third lecture of the matter and chemical formula. In this topic we are going to cover valency, atomicity and how to balance the equation, how to calculate the valency of an element, right? Basically we are focused on 1 to 20 element for 7th class purpose, right? So first of all, what do you mean by valence electron? Before studying the valency and atomicity, we we need to know what do you mean by the valence electron. Valence electron is nothing but the outermost shell electron. Outermost shell electron. You have learnt in the previous lecture what do you mean by electronic configuration, how to write the electronic configuration. If you know that thing, then what do you mean by valence electron is the outermost shell electron. I have provided the example of the this oxygen and neon. If I talk about the oxygen, its atomic number is 8. That means the K shell will have the 2 electrons and L shell will have the 6 electrons. That means outermost shell will be L, and how valence electron is the outermost shell electron. How many electrons are there in the L shell is the A 6 electrons, right? So valence electron for oxygen is 6. Then we have an example of the neon where its atomic number is 10. That means in K shell it's 2 electron and L shell will have the 8 electrons. So outermost shell is L and the electrons are 8 in L. So valence electron is equal to 8, right? Understood? Then we have some examples, 3 more examples I have provided. First is the boron, silicon and antimony. Antimony, if you know, if you want to do this thing, you can do. Otherwise, it is not for your syllabus, right? And then the boron and the silicon I have provided. Try to do by yourself and see the valence electron in the boron is coming 3 and the valence electron in the silicon is coming 4, right? Now, we have valency. What do you mean by valency? Valency is tendency to gain or lose electron to attain the nearest noble gas electronic configuration. Or either you can, this definition can be written in the another words as the valency of an element is a measure of its combining power with the other atom when it forms chemical compound or the molecule. Just how to calculate the valency, just see. Before calculating the valency, see, I will just explain the definition of the valency in a brief, right? Tendency to lose or gain electron. For an atom to attain the nearest noble gas configuration, we have 3 noble gases, helium, neon and argon, right, from 1 to 20. The all elements want to convert it like noble, right? So they either need to gain electron, either they need to lose electron, right? How many electrons they will gain or lose to attain the nearest noble gas electronic configuration is known as the valency, right? I have provided the example of the hydrogen over here. I need to calculate the valency of the hydrogen, right? So its atomic number is 1. So if I write the electronic configuration KLMN, the atomic number is 1. That means it has a 1 proton and 1 electron. So electronic configuration K shell will have the 1 electron. So nearest noble gas configuration is, nearest is the helium is the nearest. Neon and argon is not nearest for the hydrogen. So nearest noble gas is the helium. I have written the electronic configuration of the helium also, that is KLMN. The K shell will have the 2 electrons. So to become hydrogen from 1 to 2, it needs 1 more electron. So its valency is 1. Understood? So now, what is the valency of the nitrogen? Atomic number of the nitrogen is 7, right? So electronic configuration you already know, that is 2, 5, right? Now nearest noble gas configuration. Helium is not the nearest noble gas to 7. I have written the 2 noble gases electronic configuration, that is the helium and neon. Neon is the nearest noble gas to the nitrogen compared to the helium. 7 से 2 जाना is difficult, 7 से 10 जाना is easy, right? So the electronic configuration is 2, 8. That means the outermost shell electron of the nitrogen have the 5 electrons and the outermost shell electron of the neon have the 8 electrons. So what is the difference between them is the 3. Nitrogen needs 3 electrons to become 2, 8. So its valency is 3, right? I have crossed the helium electronic configuration. Why? Because it is not a nearest noble gas to nitrogen, right? I have also provided one more example, that is calcium. Calcium ki, you can write the electronic configuration of the calcium, that is 2, 8, 8, 2. So I have written the electronic configuration nearest noble gas. I have taken the example of the neon also and the argon also. If you write the electronic configuration of the both the elements, you will find neon has 2, 8 and the argon will have the 2, 8, 8. That means 20 is near to the 18, not to the 10, right? So 2, 8, 8, 2. Calcium wants to become like argon, so 2, 8, 8. That is, so it has to lose 2 electron. Its valency is 2. Understood? I have crossed the electronic configuration of the neon in the middle. Why? Because it is not a nearest noble gas to the calcium. We have to just see the reference point, which element is near to which element. Now I have provided, this is your question, calculate the valency and the valence electron of 1 to 20 element you have to do. I have not provided any clue for the what is the valency of the noble gases, right? If you see, they don't want to become like anybody, so they don't need to lose electron or gain electron, so their valency will be 0, right? So I have a 3 noble gas till 1 to 20, helium, neon and argon. Other gases, argon, after argon, krypton, xenon, radon, all have the valency 0 because they don't want to lose or they don't want to gain electron because they already are the noble gases, so their valency will be 0. Now, what do you mean by atomicity? Atomicity is the number of atoms in a molecule. Now, see, what do you mean by atomicity is the number of atoms in molecule. That molecule can be made up of one atom. Molecule is basically made up of the two or more atoms, right? So, atomicity can be 1, that is monoatomic, right? Where mono means one and atomic means one atom species. Diatomic, di means two, atomic means atom, two atomic species. Example I have provided the oxygen. Oxygen, if you see in nature how the oxygen exist, it is in the form of O2. O2 means कितने molecule? एक molecule में how many atoms are there? 2 oxygen atoms are there. If you see, there are 2 red circles are there that represent the 2 oxygen molecule, and the parallel lines in between them shows the bond between the oxygen, right? Now, monoatomic gases, like you have all the noble gases like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, all are the monoatomic gases. Diatomic gases, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all are diatomic. If I talk about the triatomic molecule, tri means 3. So it has 3 atom species. Example I have provided to you is the water. What is the formula of water? Is H2O. H2 and oxygen is 1. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 atom species, right? Now we have polyatomic species. Poly means many. Many means it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6 and so on, right? Right? It can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6 and so on are the polyatomic species. I have provided the example. Oh, this is the triatomic molecule. I have written it below the polyatomic. It is a triatomic molecule. Polyatomic, we have phosphorus molecule, we have sulfur molecule. Sulfur is S8 and phosphorus is P4, right? Now I have provided the examples over here. This is hydrogen is diatomic, helium is monoatomic, oxygen is diatomic, and the triatomic we have the ozone molecule, and nitrogen is diatomic, and the sulfur is polyatomic, that is S8. Along with the sulfur, you can put the example of the phosphorus also, that is P4. Now I have provided the question, calculate the atomicity of the following. You have to calculate the atomicity of the following. That means if I talk about the H2SO4, sulfuric acid, I'm just giving you the example of the one, and the rest you have to do by yourself. Sulfuric acid is H2SO4. That means hydrogens are 2, sulfur is 1, and oxygen is 4. That means 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 4 is 7. So atomicity for the sulfuric acid is 7, right? So phosphoric acid, I am giving the formula H3PO4. Hydrochloric acid is HCl. Ammonia is NH3. Water is H2O. Ozone is O3. Calcium carbonate CaCO3. Oxygen is O2, sulfur is S8, phosphorus P4, nitrogen is N2. I'm giving you the formula also in the audio. You guys need to remember all the formulas. This is very important to learn this basic formula of the acids and the salts and the gases, right? And calculate the atomicity of the following. Now, what do you mean by balanced and unbalanced equation? Balanced equation, the name itself suggests that something is balanced. If you go to the shopkeeper, vegetable shopkeeper, or you say कि 1 kilo आलू दे दो भैया, that means what? He is basically taking the 1 kg or 1 kg weight, which is a known weight to you, and some potatoes on the other side. If the balance is equal, that means it is a 1 kg, right? So in the equation, chemical equation, where we have reactant and the product, and between them a arrow is there, right? So balance means we have to balance the atom on the right hand side and the left hand side equal. We have to balance them, or we have to balance them with adding some numbers or multiplying some numbers. I will tell you how to balance the chemical equation. अनबैलेंस्ड इक्वेशन, दैट मीन्स 1 kg मैंने उन भैया को बोला तोलने के लिए, उन्होंने आधा किलो का आलू दे दिया मुझे. दैट मीन्स इट इज अनबैलेंस्ड इक्वेशन, राइट? Why you are balancing each and everything? Balancing is basically conservation of mass. It obeys the conservation of mass. What do you mean by conservation of mass? Is that the mass is neither created nor be destroyed. It should be equal, right? Unbalanced equation does not obey the conservation of mass. A balanced equation has an equal number of atoms of different element in the side of the reactant and the product. If you see the example, C plus CO2 gives CO, right? Where the reactant is your left hand side and the product is your right hand side. You will see the carbon atoms on the reactant side are 2, and in product side is also 2, and oxygen on the reactant side, total oxygen on the reactant sides are 2, and over here it is also 2, right? But in unbalanced equation we have the carbon on the right hand side will be 2 and the left hand side it will be, okay, sorry, the carbon on the left hand side will be 2 and carbon on the right hand side is 1, and the oxygen on the left hand side is 2 and the oxygen on the right hand side is 1. That means it is not balanced. First of all, you have to judge the equation whether it is balanced or unbalanced. If it is unbalanced, you have to balance. This is our job, right? Certain new terms you need to remember over here. I have clearly shown these are the certain things, or certain, you can say, the new words, scientific words you need to remember, right? You need to remember. First of all is the coefficient and second is the subscript. Subscript is the number which is written on the legs of the elements, you can say, or at the bottom of the elements, and the coefficients are the numbers which are in the front of the elements. If you see the coefficients over here is the 2 in front of hydrogen and over here is the 2 on the front of hydrogen, right? And the subscript is at the bottom of the element, right? Don't mess with the terms because we are balancing the equation by with the help of the coefficient only, and the subscript will not play any role in the balancing of the equation. Please remember these terms, right? Steps in the balancing. There is no hard and fast rule to balance a chemical equation. Just we have to we have to make the hit and trial method, right? Still certain rules are there. We need to learn. We need to just remember the rules. Doesn't need to learn the rules in same language. You can write it by yourself. We have to just looking into the equation. We have to just do the hit and trial method. So I'm just reading these 3 points. See. Count the number of atoms on the of each elements on the reactant and the product side. You need to count the number of atoms on the reactant side and the product side. Once you counted, you will find key number. If the numbers are not equal, that means it is not a balanced equation. We need to balance it, right? To balance out the atoms, add in coefficient. I told you subscript will not allow to do anything. Coefficients is only supposed to do whatever we want to balance, whatever you want to do in the equation. Only the coefficients are added. No subscript is allowed to. Then make sure that there are equal. After balancing, make sure that there are equal number of atoms on each side, right, of the equation, on the right hand side and the left hand side. Right hand side is known as the product side and the left hand side is known as the reactant side. Okay? This is the make sure. Third point is very important. If you judge that equation is not balanced, you need to balance it by adding the coefficients. If it is balanced, check. At the end of the question, check whether the number of atoms on the right hand side and the number of atoms on the left hand sides are equal or not. If they are equal, then the equation is balanced. Now I have provided the example for ammonia, right? Ammonia production. This N2 plus H2 give rise to ammonia. This process is known as the Haber process, which we will study in the higher classes, right? Just we need to balance this equation. This is a very easy equation, we can say. This H2 plus N2 plus H2 will give rise to ammonia, right? NH3. Before balancing, see the before balancing I have written the atoms hydrogen and the nitrogen and hydrogen. Right hand side I have written on the right hand side and the left hand side I have written the left hand side, right? If I talk about the before balancing, the N2 plus H2, total we have to see nitrogen. How many nitrogens are there? It is 2. Total hydrogens are 2 over here. Total nitrogen over here is 1. If you see nitrogen on the right hand side, it is 1 and hydrogen will be 3, right, before balancing. Now we have to make that, we just need to do the hit and trial method, right? Nitrogen is, here is the 2, here is the 1. It was 1 but we need to make it 2, so I'm just multiplying the coefficient. Here is the 2, right? Now see how many nitrogens will be there now? 2, right? Now how many hydrogens are over here? Is the 2 into 3, that is 6. So here is the 2. To make it 6, we need to multiply with the 3, right? This is the after balancing I have to see the atoms. Nitrogen is 2. Yes, it is 2. It is 6. Yes, it is 6. 2. Yes. 2 3 just 6. It is 6 over here, right? So after balancing and before balancing the after balancing the atoms on the right hand side and the left hand sides are equal, that means now this equation is balanced, right? Now we have Next equations we need to balance it, that is ZnS plus O2 give rise to ZnO plus SO2. Here we need to again count the atoms on the right hand side and left hand side. You need to just see how many zincs are there. One, here is the one, and how many oxygens are there? It is 2, and here is the 2 plus 3 1 3. Here sulfur is 1 and sulfur over here is the oxygen is the 1, right? So how many atoms you need for oxygen? You need to, if you make it 2 to balance this oxygen is odd over here, and here is the oxygen is even, right? To make it this odd oxygen even, you need to multiply with the 2. If you multiply 2 in the ZnO, you will find the oxygen will be 4. 2 plus 2 is the 4, and 2 in right. So we have oxygen 2 plus 2 into 2 will be the 4, right? 4 plus 2 is 6 oxygen over here. To make the 6 oxygen on this side, we have to multiply with the 3 over here, right? So how many zincs over here is the 2 zincs are there on the product side. To make the 2 on the reactant side also, we need to multiply with the coefficient of 2. So count the number of atoms on the right hand side and the left hand side. The equation is balanced or not, we need to check it. Zinc are 2, and just considering the atoms on the right hand side first, then the left hand side first, then the right hand side, right? Zinc atoms on the left hand side is 2, sulfur is 2, 2 into 3 is the 6 oxygen atoms is there, right? Calculate the zinc on the product side is 2, calculate the oxygen is 2 into 1, right? This is 2 plus 2 into 2 is the 4, 4 plus 2 is 6 oxygen atoms on the product side. Sulfur atom is 2, right? Now I have provided the one more example at the bottom also. PbNO3 whole twice plus NaCl goes to NaNO3 plus PbCl2, right? Here if you see the right hand side and the left hand side, the nitrate ion is common, that is NO3, and NO3 is common. So consider the NO3 as a whole and balance it. How many NO3 are there on the reactant side? It is whole bracket is 2 is there, so we need to make the NO3 on the product side is also 2, right? So we just multiply the 2 over here, right? Now see how many how many sodiums are there on the product side is 2, on the reactant side it's 1, right? So we need to multiply the 2 and the 2 over here also, NaCl. In the coefficients we are everything we are doing on in the coefficients, not in the subscript. Subscripts are scientifically proven, they are not allowed to do anything with the subscript. Now if you see the PbCl2 on the reactant side, you will find 2 chlorines are there. If you see on the reactant side NaCl, where the 1 Cl is there, right? To make the 2 chlorine atoms, we just multiplied the NaCl with the 2, so we have 2 sodium atoms and the 2 chlorine atoms. If you see the equation and count the number of atoms on the reactant and the product side, you will find they are equal, hence this equation is balanced. What is your job now? To balance the equation. This is a very important part for your syllabus and the Olympiad purpose. To balance the equation, so I have provided the equations over here to balance, right? Balance it as a homework and show me, right? Thank you guys.